Bears. Bears Country Podcast. Welcome to Bears Country Podcast. Today, 20 players in the league lost their jobs on the Bears. And many others, 20 players on many other teams too, all 31 of them. And it's a somber day. Our heart goes out to everyone that got cut from their teams today. Keep your head up. There's always chances in the NFL. Just keep grinding away, man. Keep grinding away. We've talked about it a lot. This doesn't mean shit. You can make yourself on another team easily, and it was a numbers game, really. There's a lot of players out there that are going to make other teams, and vice versa. Nomad, how you doing tonight, and how do you feel about this?
Can we first start with a quick moment of silence for my man Dieter? All right. Okay. Had to do that, man. That might have been the guy I was rooting for the most, other than I think of Tyree Carter, who made the team. Like you said, man, it's
Dieter,
as a former, I'm always As a former football player and knowing how much work it takes to get to that point, man, I just feel sorry for the guys that were out there. And some of them, knew right away when they came in the door, and then some of them didn't. They had to go through with practice, and somebody probably came out on the field and said, hey, we're going to need you to come in the locker room and get your iPad, and you know what it is. So those guys, man, some people's dreams came to a crashing end today, man. And some of them going to have to look at something else in life, and others may find a spot somewhere else. But, man, cheers to all those guys.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are going to be – this is their last shot, and they gave up after this. And some of them still have plenty of fight left in them because they just got into the league. So cheers to everyone, man. Just keep plugging away. Anyone who retires, I'm sure you'll do good in life. And anyone that is still has a chance, still make another team, and it'll go around. Just keep plugging at it. So 20 players were cut from the Bears today, and like you said, you started off with Dieter. I mean, that's a great point. Dieter, I was kind of shocked actually. I would imagine he's going to make the practice squad. Other players like Travon Coley. Can you believe they cut Travon Coley?
You know what? Cliff is in there. Thanks for coming, Cliff, man. Our number one fan right there. I understand why they would. And I also could imagine they might be. I got him pegged as a guy that could possibly get on the practice squad if he clears the waivers. Yeah. But his performance was everything you would want out of his position. Is maybe they're looking at somebody else out there that they're saying, okay, he could be an upgrade to that guy. That's kind of, it's not that he didn't perform the way they needed him to perform. It's just probably somebody they're eyeballing out there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a 16-man practice squad, right? So realistically, there's only, if they wanted to bring back 16 of the 20 that they cut, you just remove 4 names from here, right? But they'll probably
say that one more time.
Well, the practice squad is 16. It's a 16-man practice squad, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it is because of COVID. I remember someone saying it on a show. I think it was like Hogue said it or something. Because I was kind of shocked. I was shocked to hear that number. But if that's the case, you could realistically just only remove 4 guys from this list because they could just sign 16 of the 20 right back onto the practice squad. Talk while I look this up.
I was gonna say something to Cliff. He's in the comments saying that they kept 10 out of 11 guys that they've drafted. No, they got all 11. They kept Kramer. They put on probably is going to go on IR all year, so he's not going anywhere. So all 11 guys shocked me. I thought for sure, if anybody was going to get cut, I didn't really think any of them besides I think the poorest performance I seen was probably Zachary Thomas. What you got?
Yeah, it is 16.
Okay.
The poorest performance you saw was Zachary Thomas?
Was better in the last game, but before then it was pretty bad looking out there.
He was struggling, yeah.
Yeah.
But him being a draft pick, I see why they kept him.
Right. I mean, I thought that's excellent. I mean, you think about that. You made 11 draft picks, and every last one of them made the team. I don't know how many teams can say they got that going on for themselves.
Well, Cliff said that Poles kept 10 of his 11 draft picks. So who was the one that they cut? Are you sure they kept every one of them?
He's probably thinking about Doug Kramer because he's going to be on IR, the center.
Oh, yeah. I don't see anyone on this. There isn't anybody on here that they drafted in this list. Oh, Jean Delance. Yeah. No, he was a UDFA, wasn't he?
Right.
Yeah, I don't see anyone on here who was a draft pick in this list.
Now, even Delance, I think he may have gotten injured somewhere along camp, and he didn't really get a whole lot of practice reps either. So I think they may have had to waive him for now, and maybe may have plans to bring him back when he's a little healthier. I would guess.
Yeah. So let's go down the list of the players that were cut. Sean Coleman, James O'Shaughnessy, the tight end. I kind of figured he'd be cut, but they only kept 2 tight ends. If they kept Jake Tonjes, so he'll play some tight end, but I would have thought they would have kept Chase Allen, which he was cut. So we got Tavon Young was cut. It's kind of a surprise because we all thought he was going to be. When they signed him, we thought we have our nickel back, right?
Tavon Young's not cut.
Well, he's on IR, but he was listed as cut.
He sent out a text not long ago saying he's not on IR.
Oh, that's
and I don't know if somebody's got a burner account, but I did see a text.
No, I saw this on Chat Sports. This was on Chat Sports.
I don't mean it's real.
That's true. Mario Edwards, he was cut.
Yeah,
I thought he would be cut too.
Last night.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about him yesterday. I told you I thought it was strange that he hadn't even played a snap in preseason and didn't really do anything in practice. My guess was, he just didn't buy in. And he's a veteran, and not all of them were going to do that. So that's what I thought happened. Maybe it was something conflicting between him and the coaches.
Cliff asks, do you think that Poles is a homer for keeping his guys, or were they the best keeps? What do you think?
I mean, you draft guys to develop them, right? You get all your draft picks. The plan is to get them guys in, coach them, and get them up to speed with what you want out of them. And they kept them because maybe they still see the potential and the reason why they drafted them. And it may still take some time to get a lot of those guys on the field, but just having faith in who you brought in.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to see if I'm trying to look at that. Look the Tavon Young on, or the Travon Young.
People Cliff is saying embarrassing on Chat Sports.
What you say?
I did go on there earlier, and he was killing some fireball shots, man. A whole bunch of them.
That's cool. Yeah, he was cut.
Who?
Travon Young. He's listed as if.
Is it on the Bears website?
Jesus Christ! Calling me out here. I had this already. Oops.
I just try to find that hard to believe. He's laughing at the Cliff.
Anyway, Cliff, look that up for us. Jesus Christ. Who was Travon Young was cut? Am I wrong? I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. we're wasting time on this. So Mario Edwards, that was kind of a shock. Kevin Shaw, I mean, we thought he'd be cut, I'm sure. Corey Dublin, John Alexander, Jean Delance, Travon Coley, Demontre Tuggle, Nathan Peterman, Sam Kamara, Michael Schofield, Lachavius Simmons, Greg Stroman, Demarcus Gates, Chris Finke, Devontae Harris, Isaiah Coulter, Asimba Webster, Chase Allen, Thomas Graham, Dieter Iselin, Charles Snowden, Darrington Evans, Micah Dew Treadway, and AJ Thomas. These are all kind of names that we pretty much all thought were going to be cut anyways. But Demarcus Gates is an interesting one for me because I thought we all kind of saw something in him. Everyone's been talking about him. He's been playing well. I don't know if he could probably make. Oh yeah, because he's a rookie, so he could make the practice squad. That's another one I'm going to circle for that.
They fussing in the chat, man. They up in the air about whether he was cut. Some say he wasn't.
Travon Coley?
No, Tavon Young.
Oh, Tavon Young. Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I apologize. I thought I had all this correct. Michael Schofield's kind of a surprising cut, right? But we didn't. I'm glad that they cut Schofield over Jatari Carter, certainly. And I would have liked to have seen Zach Thomas kind of get a crack at this. So based on what I saw out of him in the preseason, I'm glad with that. How about you?
I'm happy with this roster. Why? Because it's young and it's full of juice. Yeah. They went with youth. I mean, you have to have some veterans in a lot of spots, but they chose youth over everything. And to me, that's a great sign, man. You know, that team is going to be out there flying around and full of juice and competitive as hell, man. It's just, man, it's a lot of people having a whole lot to say about Tavon Young. They up in the air about that, but
Thank you,
sorry to throw off the conversation.
No, Taurine Whitfield. Thank you. He said that Greg Gabriel has the breakdown, so I trust Greg Gabriel.
No, and another one just put something up there. Came right from Dan Weirder. Said he's on season-ending IR.
Right. So they can't cut him if he's on IR, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That was weird. Okay. I didn't see what Greg Gabriel had to say about him, but that's a good. Thank you, everybody, for correcting me, or not.
And I
don't fucking know.
our people, these Bears fans be on their shit, man. They be like, I was in what was it, CHGO earlier when the cuts started really coming down. Mm-hmm. It was 3:00, so the final cuts were coming out. Man, those dudes was on it, man. I mean, on it. Some of the guys that's in this chat right now were there.
I bet they were. So I kind of was surprised. I thought they might keep Chase Allen, the tight end, the undrafted free agent tight end. I was kind of shocked they only went with 2 tight ends.
See, that's a curious position. I'll tell you why. It doesn't make sense in an offense that probably this tight end friendly to have 2 active tight ends. Doesn't make any sense at all. So my guess is they're eyeballing somebody out there. Some dude is getting a phone call right now, probably getting ready to come in for a workout. Somebody out there. There's going to be a 3rd tight end some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because they're using Tongas as a fullback, and he just outperformed Chase Allen, simply put.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what the position, because I think it's Chase Allen wore 47 and Tongas wore 46. So they were eyeballing both of those guys to be able to play both positions, tight end or U-back and wide tight end. And so Chase Allen just got beat out, flat out.
Yeah. So let's talk about the 53 guys that are left. So we've got obviously Fields and Simeon. They kept 3 running backs in Montgomery, Herbert, and Ebner. And then they kept 2 fullbacks. They're calling Tonjes a fullback, and Blazingame and Tonjes. And then 3 tackles in Braxton Jones, Riley Reef, and Larry Borum. And then they kept 4 guards: Whitehair, Carter, Jenkins, Zach Thomas, and then 2 centers: Lucas Patrick and Mustafer. So, gosh, I hope they stuff Iselin on the practice squad, because he really, everyone we were all talking about him the whole preseason. So, but Mustafer's kind of sucks. You got crickets, buddy. You got them fucking crickets.
Man. Is that bugging you, man? That's it bugging you.
No, it's not. But there is crickets in the background, just so you know.
Cicadas, man. I gotta close this window, man. Yes, the cicadas.
7 wide receivers. I thought they were going to keep 7 wide receivers, personally.
I said that yesterday.
Yep.
But that just real quick, one of the things about a practice squad, and you think about the definition of a practice squad, if there's any person on that team, on this team that got cut, that the practice squad is perfect for, it would be Dieter.
Right.
Because he's developing like a mother. He's constantly developing. Every time I see that guy out there, he got better. Mm-hmm. And so to me, he's a perfect. I got a few people pegged for practice squad, but maybe I'll tell you that somewhere towards the end.
Yeah, because even if somebody tries to pluck him, they can add him to the roster. So if they get to a certain point where they can cut a player and add him to the roster just to keep him, I'm sure they would consider doing something like that. Plus injuries happen, and they have that option, which is nice. So the 7 receivers are Mooney, ESB, Equanimeous St. Brown, Byron Pringle, Velus Jones, Tajay Sharp, Dante Pettis, and N'Keal Harry on IR, which he won't be back for a while. So that's exactly what I think both thought they were going to do anyway, which kind of lines up.
So technically they have 6. So if Harry's on IR, they probably have a spot to fill.
Cliff says O.J. Howard got cut.
He did. I think the word on the street about O.J. Howard is he's really good in every aspect of the game except for blocking. So that's what the word is on him. And in that type of offense that what was he at, the Bills? I think he was with the Bills. You have to be able to, the type of offense they run, you have to be a decent inline tight end, because they kind of use that guy as an extra offensive lineman sometimes, and maybe he's just not what they want. It's not like he's not a talented guy, but he's got to go to a team specific that has a specific type of offense that wouldn't require him to do that as much. That won't be the case here. He's going to have to block here.
Right. Then the 2 tight ends, Komet and Ryan Griffin. And this is the one I'm shocked the most on. They kept Cairo Santos and Trenton Gill.
They didn't cut him?
No, they kept him.
That's surprising.
That's a fucking shock, right? Is anyone else as shocked as me that they did that? I thought Greg Stroman was going to be the kicker. Sorry, I was high on that. I thought he was. Maybe I can understand them keeping Trenton Gill. I'm just fucking kidding. I'm joking, obviously, everyone. I'm just saying it's so obvious because they didn't bring anyone in to compete with them. You know what I mean? And so usually that always happens. The defensive ends. You want to go ahead?
No, go ahead.
Defensive ends, Quinn and Robinson, Gibson and Muhammad. And then the defensive tackles, Jones, Tongas, Blackson, and Pennell. I'm just shocked at Pennell, Mike Pennell.
Did Big 95 get cut?
No, they kept Tonga.
Okay,
but that's where I'm just surprised Travon Coley didn't beat out Pennell.
They play 2 different positions. Travon Coley is more of a 3-tech kind of disruptor. Pennell plays a job as a one tech kind of as a space eater.
Whereas he's the nose tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just there to try to draw the double team to get somebody like Coley one-on-one. So their responsibilities are totally different.
So it's interesting because Jones is the first tackle, and then they have the first three technique tackle, and then they have Tonga as the second three technique tackle. I would have thought that Tonga was more of a one tech, more of a nose.
I don't put too much into this PR department putting that stuff together, man. It doesn't really mean anything to anybody inside the building. They just have to put something out.
True. Linebackers: Roquan Smith, Joe Thomas, Nicholas Morrow, Jack Sanborn. Yay, Jack Sanborn! Matt Adams and Johnson. I don't even know who's Johnson. I forgot. I didn't write down his first name.
Caleb Johnson.
Who? Oh, Caleb Johnson. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
Whom I would assume if there's a move at a linebacker spot, if they covet somebody out there, he or Sanborn would be the first one to go.
Yeah. Cornerbacks: Jalen Johnson, Lamar Jackson, awesome. Happy with that. Kendall Vildor. Say what you want about Kendall Vildor, man. The dude he's been playing well. He's sticking around. He's starting with the new regime. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I thought, I'm sure most of us here thought at the beginning of the year that was Thomas Graham's job. Thomas Graham's.
I did.
You didn't? I did.
Can I tell you a little something? I noticed early in camp, I remember one of the reporters said, for no really specific reason, Thomas Graham went to the locker room, and they didn't really say what kind of injury he had. It was kind of iffy if he even had an injury or not. And then as the OTAs went on and they got into the preseason games, and he still wasn't out there, I started my spidey senses started going up. I'm guessing he was probably subject to a trade, and they were trying to keep him off the field. And they couldn't, and ended up not being able to trade him, so they released him. Probably the same thing with Mario Edwards.
I like that insider thinking there. You could be correct on that.
Yeah. Sure, they tried to get something from those two guys.
To answer Ravi's Ravi Come-Up's question, yes, they kept the cornerback. The safeties are Jackson. I didn't continue. So Jalen Johnson, Lamar Jackson, Kendall Vildor, and Jalen Jones. Wow. And then Gordon and Duke Shelley. And then the safeties are obviously Eddie Jackson and DHC, and then Jaquan Brisker and Akeem Hicks. I'm glad they kept Akeem Hicks. I'd like to see what they get out of him once he gets some experience in the league.
To Ravi's point, man, I would bet dollars to dimes that it was a toss-up between Duke Shelley and Greg Stroman. And I bet, and this sounds simple, but coaches like Eberflus and those type of old school hard-nosed coaches, they really love tacklers. I mean, really guys that finish tackles. And definitely Duke Shelley is a stronger tackle. Definitely. I mean, Greg Stroman played his ass off, but in that box, at that nickel spot, which is probably what they were fighting for, Shelley is the stronger tackle. I mean, Duke Shelley.
Yeah. I liked him coming out of college. The Nagy experience didn't get much out of him for whatever reason. So I'm glad he stuck around.
I see Swift in there. No, I've seen it. I just don't believe it, Swift. It's always some bullshit in the game. They'll make up shit and go and talk to a guy's agent and say, hey, we'll just say he's got a hammy and shit. We'll keep him off the field while we're trying to negotiate a trade or something. So every injury report don't mean it's fact.
At that point, they can do it because they don't have to release injury information to the league. So they could. I mean, could they still possibly get in trouble for lying about that though?
Yeah, but who's checking?
I don't know. Somebody's probably fucking checking.
Yeah, Swifty saying he was running with the ones at one time, man. I mean, apparently he wasn't showing them what they was looking for, man. I thought, to be honest with you, I thought he was probably before we picked up Kyler Gordon and they started working him out in the slot. I thought it was a toss up that Thomas Graham might get that job, man. But I don't know. They saw something with him and didn't like something about him and just like we'll go in another direction. I don't know.
If you would have told me at the beginning of training camp that Thomas Graham would have been cut, I wouldn't have believed you. So that's kind of a shock. Because that's just my own personal opinion. Because I thought he was going to fit well in this system, based on what we saw out of him last year, and I don't know. I mean, he could still make the practice squad, so that's one of my guys for that.
Pegged for sure. You want me to run down a quick little small list of guys I got pegged? It's only 7 people.
Yeah.
First guy I got pegged was Graham. Actually, Thomas Graham is the first one. And then Michael Treadway. I think they're not done with him. Dieter for sure. Darrington Evans, I think, probably is going to find a spot on there. I can't see them not having at least that fourth back somewhere in the wings. Travon Coley, hoping they put him on the practice squad. I don't want to see his last days here, man. I thought he was productive out there. I want to see what he could do. Peterman, I'm pretty sure is going to be on the practice squad. Mm-hmm. And maybe Greg Stroman or Kamara could find their way on there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Kamara, yeah. I think Isaiah Coulter could. Everything that you have said, I've agreed with you. I think Isaiah Coulter could. I think Kevin Shaw could.
I don't think so.
No?
No, I think they can do better at those spots. Good, some talented receivers, man. There's a lot of talent that's out there on waivers right now, man. And those two guys, in my way of comparing, man, dude, they don't even come close to some of the guys I see out there on the waiver wire.
Mm-hmm. I like what Brady says here because that's what I thought Vildor would be better in cover too. Also, AJ Thomas, I think, yeah, and he is. He clearly is. AJ Thomas, I think, could make the practice squad. I mean, shit, even Simba Webster could instead of Shaw. I mean, Charles Snowden could. Simmons could. Latavius Simmons. Like I said, you could just pick 4 people that you don't think are going to make the practice squad from here, and that'll probably make it easier. Because there's 20 players cut, 16 of them could go back on.
I think I might have been watching one of Swift's videos. He was going on and on about Latavius Simmons. I haven't had the time to really isolate his play yet. So he wasn't the only one that I saw with a video talking about Latavius Simmons, man. He must have been balling his ass off because I've seen quite a few people giving him a shout out in their videos.
Yeah. So have I. I did see a little bit out of him that I'm remembering. Because I remember having to look up numbers and shit. And okay. Glob, welcome in. Bear Don. Love it.
Glob Dabalina.
I love it. I've been trying to figure out what that means. It's like I think it's like he took the first name and the last name and somehow combined them to make it. It's probably like yeah, you got to do the play on words in there and take like switch 2 of those 3 letters around or something because it seems like one of those games where they give you the letters and you have to try to like spell what it means because they're all scrambled.
No, there's a video I think by these rappers called The Far Side, And
Okay.
it was a character they put in there. I think Bob Dabalina. There you go. He just put it in there.
Nice.
I seen that video one day.
Mr. Dabalina. Nice. Bob Dabalina.
Bob.
I love it. I love it. Creative. Cool. So yeah, we have the 53-man roster. We'll have to find out what happens with the waiver wires in a couple days. The roster is going to change. There's going to be some shifting around of some players. So it'll be interesting to find out what happens in a couple of days. I wanted to kind of take a moment here, Nomad, to say I'm going to be going to the 49ers game, and we're going to do a pregame a pregame podcast on our phones. I'm going to be on my phone. Nomad's going to look exactly the same, and then we're going to, or maybe he won't. We might have a different logo for you by then, actually, buddy. So then we're going to be talking on the phones, and I'm going to have Soldier Field in the background behind us as the backdrop when we do the pregame. We'll just do a quick, short, 15-minute or so pregame, and then we'll get into the stadium, and then I'm going to try to do some shout outs from the fans to Bears Country Podcast, and maybe just kind of do a couple of shorts in there of certain things that happened in the game. It's going to be almost happening in real time. It's going to be really fun and interesting to watch. And then after the game, we're going to do a post game, and we'll do that again from outside the stadium with the stadium as the backdrop. And it's going to be an awesome day. So please, everyone, set your subscription or your notifications, subscribe, make sure you like, because this is going to be a really fun one. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this done before personally. Maybe there has been. If there was, I haven't seen it, but I thought it'd be really cool and creative. So we are also breaking news, in case anyone hasn't heard it last night. We are working with the Barroom Network now. So we're going to be presenting all of our live Monday night podcasts under the Barroom Network. And it'll be for an hour starting at 7 p.m. Central Time, right? It is 7 p.m. Central Time, right? Yeah. And it'll go for... No, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then it'll go for an hour until the baseball season is over. And then after the baseball season is over, we'll be able to kick it as long as we want after that. Cliff Victoria here in chat here. He's going to be our very first guest on that under the Barroom Network. So it's going to be the Barroom Network Presents, and it'll be where we're going to do our show on their network. And then we're also going to keep our channel here, and we're going to be in association with the Barroom Network. So it's almost like a really awesome sponsorship in a way, and we're happy to be working with them. We were big fans of them way before this started. And I think that our personalities are kind of why they came to us with this excellent idea, and it's going to be excellent. We love doing this. We hope you guys love it too. It's only going to get better because it's kind of like when you're watching a new show on TV, right? Like whatever it is, Friends or Seinfeld or whatever. You always notice that the first several episodes are a little off, but by the time they get into that second or third season and they're just rocking and rolling and they're all clicking off each other and they're working perfectly, then the show is hilarious. Or even if it's a drama, the show is just more dramatic, whatever you might want to call it. That's what's going to happen with Nomad and I as we start to get deeper into this venture that is known as the Bears Country Podcast. And so we hope that you'll all join us and be part of our crew, because we'll have, like I said, anyone can come on the show. If you just email us at bearscountrypodcast@gmail.com. We have a lot of different things lined up for during the NFC North games. We're going to be doing a podcast with, we have one lined up is for the Vikings game. So we're going to do like a midweek Vikings Bears breakdown with another Vikings podcast, so we can kind of talk to each other back and forth. And it's going to be a lot of fun. They can break down their team, they can tell us their thoughts, and vice versa. And anyone else that wants to come on, as far as I haven't found any Packers podcasts to do it yet, or any Lions podcasts to do it yet. Although we do have something special lined up for that. Even if we do, there's still going to be something special for that. But we're still trying to find the other 3 NFC North teams. So if anyone knows of anyone that knows of someone, even if you're 6 degrees of separation from someone that does any kind of NFC North podcast that's not the Bears, please let them know. That have them reach out to us at Mr. Shorty on Twitter, or at Nomad, a million different weird numbers nobody could remember, or at Bears Country Podcast at Mr._Shorty. And that'll really help, because it's going to add to the excellent content that we're gonna create with this show. And I think the Bears game, the podcast is only in its infancy. We've only been around for a month. Sorry, I'm fucking rambling, but I'm finishing in a second. And here we are with all of you guys like on our side, and we appreciate all of your support. And man, when we go to this game and do this podcast from the game, it is going to be fucking awesome. I cannot wait, and I hope everyone enjoys it as much as I love. We're both going to love doing it. So that's all I have to say. I'll let you go, Nomad.
Get some water.
I will.
First of all, who the fuck watches Friends and Seinfeld? That's number one.
I'm just thinking of shows, you know.
Never
Seinfeld?
seen an episode.
Oh, fuck you, Seinfeld. Don't go there with Seinfeld, though. That show's hilarious.
Who watches that shit, man?
I watch Seinfeld.
Friends.
Like, I don't watch Friends, but I watch Seinfeld. Come on. How about Curb Your Enthusiasm?
What the fuck, man? I'm taking your fucking man card, dude. I'm taking your fucking bone and I'm burying that shit, man.
I'm trying to think of popular shows came to my head. That's all. Friends and Seinfeld. Hey, how about yeah, like how about like The Cosby Show? How about that? Is that am I dating myself too much?
I don't know what this like, man. You probably never watched the episode of Martin or something, have you?
Oh, I have. Yes, I've watched Martin, and you can tell in the beginning of Martin, it like that's to what I was saying. I'm just saying any show. Sorry, they were bad choices.
That's hilarious. I couldn't wait. I'm like, this motherfucker rambling, and I'm trying to get a joke in.
No, thanks for calling me up, because as the words are coming out of my mouth, I was like, I'm going to myself, don't finish it. Fuck, you said it. Friends. I won't. I swear to God. Seinfeld, I'm not going to apologize for. Friends was only because it just was a popular show that came to my head. I wasn't like I didn't watch Friends. I've seen Friends, but I didn't like watch Friends, dude. I'm just letting you know.
Let me fuck around, find out you'd be watching Friends, man. You ain't gonna be friends no more. Wait, what'd you say? Let me fuck around, find out you watching Friends, man. We not gonna be friends.
No. I loved Sanford and Son though, man. That was a fucking great show. I always have that song. I have this. That's what it was, right? Man, I love Sanford and Son, man. One of my favorite shows of all time.
How about that Collectors, man? My grandfather used to watch that shit all the time, man. That shit cracked me up. I brought the Collectors set. I got every episode.
I still like. Sometimes I'm like, oh hell, like I still like to. It's coming to get me. I still do that, you know, to Kitty Cat.
Hey, don't do that no more. Don't do that no more, man. Don't do that no more.
Maybe one of these days when Maybe one of these days, if you're on the air, you'll do that. You can do it for me then. I'm coming, Elizabeth. I'm coming, Elizabeth.
No, but yeah, just to top it off about that the show with Aldo, I just want to be clear, to like you were, that this is going nowhere. It's just only going to get better because you know how Aldo put his touches on things, and the thing's just going to get better.
Absolutely.
So only thing we're going to do is grow.
Yep. And same thing. You're going to pull my personality out of me more. Because that's just my point. It's like when you're starting to do something like this, you're kind of more robotic. You're not relaxed. You're trying to figure shit out. You're trying to make sure you look good. You get all that shit figured out, and then you just realize being yourself is the best thing to do. So we're just gonna get more and more ourselves, and it's gonna get better and better. I wanted to tell Swifty, I actually met Jennifer Aniston.
Swifty is in there asking me about, hey, man, what I'm gonna do with her bony ass? What I'm gonna do with that little ass? That little motherfucker, man. I need something with some goddamn some ham hocks on it. I can't do nothing with that little motherfucker.
What's the song? What's the song?
I don't like little ass women like that.
What's that song?
All right, man. From now on, you can't smoke before the show, man. You can't do that shit no more. I'm telling Kitty soon the fuck she get back to keep that motherfucker away from the bong before. No,
it was the wrong. That's the wrong. I was thinking of. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Right.
Oh my god, man. Oh my god.
Dude, you know how many I had a shitty old like 1980 Toyota Tercel, and I had a boom like a box in my trunk, and I would blast that shit, and it just would rattle my whole fucking car. My license plate would be rattling.
I used to have
fucking white kid.
I used to keep a car like that, man, with a lot of bass and shit in it, man. I just outgrew that shit. Plus people want to rob you for every fucking thing.
Glob says I should smoke during the show. Like, if I lived in a legal state, maybe I would feel weird doing that in a different state that wasn't legal. So.
Hey, you know what?
I will be all of next 2 weeks podcasts. I'm going to be in Illinois, so maybe I will.
We should add a toast. I mean, a drink and toke segment to the show, just to see what everybody's doing. Everybody take one at the same, some shit like that.
That's a great idea.
Oh yeah.
The other thing is my wife doesn't let me smoke it in the house. So
yes. Swift said he smoked during the show, man. You can get away with it, Swift. This cat get goofy than a motherfucker, man. He ain't got no business smoking.
Start talking about fucking friends and shit.
Jennifer Aniston, what I'm gonna do with that little bitch?
A cigar counts, Clip. You just have to take the tobacco out and put weed in it. That's all. Oh man. Well, we have to kind of wrap this up because we're going to be excuse me, we're going to be on the Ballroom Network coming up soon, the Dan and Aldo show, and they're going to be promoting the Bears Country podcast coming to their network. So it's going to be an exciting night over there, and that's going to be a fucking blast because when you get the two of us in a room with the two of them, and I know what happened last time Nomad was on that show. I have to make sure I get more high for that one because I got to be ready for that shit. But they're going to do their announcement of us coming on the show, and it's going to be an excellent night. And we're going to kind of talk about Aldo and Dan and I think we're all going to be at the Bears game, the Dolphins game on the 9th. So we're going to be talking about some of that because we're going to get together and do a bunch of stuff for that. And it's going to be awesome. And there was one more thing I wanted to say, and I can't remember. So say something, Nomad, while I think about it.
I'm just going to let people look at your ass while you figure it out.
I was going to say that what's going to happen starting next week when we do this podcast from the Ballroom Network on Monday night, the entire production of this channel is going to change. There's going to look absolutely amazing. The work that Aldo is doing over there for us to help just make this channel better, both for our sake and for his. For when we're on Monday nights with him, and it's going to be amazing. It's all going to look the same. It's all going to be associated. Most of it's going to be associated with our channel here, but we're going to have that one Monday night with them. So just stay tuned for all that. I know most of you in here in chat already do. So
one quick thing, Shorty, just one quick thing for me. I just want to challenge everybody in the chat right now, even Swifty, man. Any ideas or thoughts or directions? Just what kind of ideas and thoughts do you have that we can add to the show, man? Get in the comments after the show, man. Start sending us some stuff, because I'm thinking of stuff. He's thinking of stuff. All those over there always thinking of some shit. And so anything that we can do to make this thing better, man, I want to hear about it, because we may be able to use it.
Absolutely. Yes. We'll definitely take your advice for any things you'd like to see added onto the show. It's a great idea. BearsCountryPodcast@gmail.com. We'll be happy to take your advice.
Or down there in the comments after the show, right in the show after this.
Yeah, in the comments under the show. Either way. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up so we can get ready to get on the Dan and Aldo show coming up soon, and we're get ready for that game when we go there, because when we're doing the podcast, because it's going to be oh man, I can't wait. I cannot wait, Nomad. Anyway, we'll see you guys soon until we do the next podcast. If not, we'll see you on the Bar Network on Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And until then, Nomad?
11-6.
11-6. You gotta have something to end the show with, dude. So when I go until then, Nomad, you gotta say your words to end the show, and then I'll say mine, and then we end it.
That's all the fuck you getting. 11-6.
All right. Until then, Nomad says 11-6. I say Bears.